Perfect. Nick, I'm going to stop one for 1 minute and then we can start, okay?
I was too early.
Perfect. No worries. Welcome to AI and Multimedia Magicians. My name is Abhijit. Today we have a full agenda. We have two speakers. One is Amy Chen and another one is Rishikesh. We start our meetings with lightning slides, but before we do that, I want to remind you that in our club, we give round robin feedback. So, Amar, pay attention to the speech, and once the speech is done, be ready to give feedback to people. Let me call upon Nick to get us started with the lightning slides. What is lightning slides? In our club, we do impromptu speaking in the form of a different slide deck. So Nick is going to give us more information. Nick, it's all you, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit. Let me present. Okay. Can you see my screen?
We can see it.
Okay, great. Yeah, we are doing lightning slides in a bit different way. I will show you picture, and you have tell me the prompt which you would give to AI to generate this picture. Try to focus on as many details as possible. And today's theme is Children of the Forest, and you should try to name at least 5 distinctive elements. And start with the phrase, oh, AI or ChatGPT, draw me the picture and describe the prompt based on the picture I will present you. And I will start with Sanya. Sanya, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let's go. And you have 30 seconds.
ChatGPT draw me a picture of 3 female figures that look like a Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. So they have silver faces and pointy ears, and the old trees grow instead of hairs. Their hair. They also seem to be dressed in the natural tree growing around them.
Okay, thank you.
And they are looking in the, yeah, so far away. Thank you.
That was great. I haven't thought about Guardians of Galaxy. Next one, I will ask Amy. Amy, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You have 30 seconds.
The AI gave me a photo or pictures that shows the trees are human beings that might be able to interact with people. And obviously they are like the Lord of the Rings kind of figures. I think that's about it.
Okay, it was great. Thank you. I will ask Amar next. Amar, are you ready?
Go ahead.
That's a scary one.
ChatGPT draw me an image of a late afternoon with the sun in the sky in a deep dark forest where there are tree gnomes running around across the forest. Some are very large, some are quite small. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll ask Jenny next. Jenny, you ready?
Jenny might not be ready.
Okay, if Jenny is not ready, Elizabeth, are you ready to be next? Okay, I don't hear from Elizabeth. Hrishi.
Elizabeth, can you unmute? No, Elizabeth, can you unmute?
Yes, I heard you.
Okay. You have 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Draw me an image of a gorilla with a cloudy background with stones and little grasses with about 6 images of human being trying to approach the gorilla.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Hrishi, do you want to be next?
Sure.
Because you have 30 seconds.
ChatGPT, draw me an image of a family with a father and a mother and 3 sons. It's a dated picture with a sepia tone with a huge robot-like character behind. The report looks like it's made out of an old tractor.
Thank you. I'll ask Abhijit next. Abhijit, you ready?
Yes.
30 seconds.
ChatGPT, draw me a picture with 3 figures. They have the body of a human being, but they look like gorillas. They are ready and watching from a top. They are on a hillside with stones all over, and in the distance, they are looking at the valley. The valley has a river, and you can see some land very far away. Back to you, Nick.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you. I see few people joined us in last few minutes. I don't know if they know what we are doing. If anyone like Dan or V. Shillingford wants to try the next slide, or I think I asked already everyone.
Dan, would you like to try? Dan and V. Shillingford?
No, thank you. Just looking on.
Okay. No worries.
Okay, I think then, yeah, we're done with lightning slides.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nick. We will now move on to our prepared speeches. But before we move on to our prepared speeches, let me ask V. Shillingford, can you introduce yourself to the club? Shillingford? We will move on. Our next section of the meeting is prepared speeches. We have 2 prepared speakers, Amy Chen and Rishikesh Sathavane. Amy's pathway is presentation mastery. This is her level 3 speech project to inspire your audience. The title of this speech is How I Use ChatGPT to Enhance My UX Research Job Search. How I use ChatGPT to enhance my UX research job search. The purpose of this project is for Amy to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. We are going to have a round robin feedback immediately after this speech. So we encourage you to take notes. And when you are giving a feedback, try not to repeat what other person has said and try to be brief within 1 to 1.5 minutes so that we can go through as many members as possible. Amy Chen, how I use ChatGPT to enhance my UX job search. Amy Chen.
Thank you, Abhijit, and hello, everyone. I'm from another club, but I got invited to this meeting, and I'm very glad I'm here to share my experience. I'm currently the UX researcher at ByteDance, and I just onboarded on May 20th, so very new. I want to specifically share this speech because I used ChatGPT to find this job. And after I got laid off in January, I officially was terminated in February. And because of my H-1B visa, I had only 2-month grace period to stay in the United States and find a job. By leveraging ChatGPT, I applied to more than 450 roles in 2 months, secured 4 on-site interviews and 3 verbal offers, and finally materialized 1 offer at the end at ByteDance. So I want to share my experience and encourage you to try using ChatGPT to improve the process of job hunting. And let me walk you through my process and the benefits I have experienced. We can break down the speech and my process into 3 stages. And the last part, I will share some tips and tricks. And you can see behind, those are my notes and some prompts that I used. And I'm not going to go into details, but it's for your reference during my speech. I want to break down the job hunting process into 3 phases. And as you probably all know, the first thing is you have to prepare your material. Second is applying. And third is interviewing. For any job application, have well-prepared material is very crucial, and it's the first step. ChatGPT helped me to craft cover letters and resumes. For resumes, I input my old resume with some worth mentioning projects that I want to mention and ask ChatGPT to optimize my resume for specific roles. With the job description, it also helped me emphasize the most relevant experience and skills, so I can tailor the content specifically for the company. And you might ask, is that necessary to customize your resume for each role that you're applying? I would say yes, because the market is really bad now. I don't know if you are looking for a job as well, but for the user experience field, it's even worse comparing to engineer. And I know even some engineers got laid off. So if you don't customize your material for a company, how can you stand out? ChatGPT is the best way to quickly customize hundreds of resumes for hundreds of opportunities outside there. And for the cover letter, it's the same. I started by providing ChatGPT with details about the job description and my relevant experience, and it will customize and craft a cover letter for me. In the past, yes, you might say cover letter is not always necessary, but now the market is terrible, and cover letter will help you increase the chance to be seen by the recruiters. So I highly recommend that because ChatGPT can help you create one in just a couple of seconds. So why not? And ChatGPT helped me to customize my materials for different companies a lot faster, so I can start applying a lot faster as well. After I got laid off with ChatGPT, I only need 1 day to prepare all of this, and I can start applying. But applying is another battle that I entered. During the hunting process, time is very crucial because nowadays, if I don't apply to a job within 24 hours, thousands of resumes were in front of me already, and I won't be seen by any recruiter in that case. Thus, I use an AI plugin in my browser, and I put it behind here that you can utilize it as well. It allowed me to apply faster and allocate more time to preparation. It will help me auto-fill all the required fields in the application process. And that faster the whole process a lot. And also, if you want to ensure at least the recruiter can see you, a referral is another way to surpass all this waiting resumes in the queue. Unfortunately, ChatGPT cannot help you find your connection, but it will definitely help you to craft a very good self-introduction to cold reach to people that you don't even know. So I found a lot of people on LinkedIn working in the companies that I'm interested in, and I don't really know them. And in that case, I will have to introduce myself as a stranger. With ChatGPT, I'm able to put in this person's specific background that I found on Google or LinkedIn and also utilize ChatGPT to put in my resume together and draft a very cool with personal touch letter and tell this person, please refer me. I would say it's not always 100% success. A lot of people will ignore you, but don't give up because ChatGPT already made this process a lot faster and easier, and you don't have to draft all of these messages on your own. After you get either referral or seen by the recruiter, the third step is to prepare their interview. I will say for UX researcher, there are at least 4 different rounds. The first one is recruiter, second one is hiring manager, third one can be take-home assignment or on-site whiteboarding assignment, and the last one will be portfolio review and maybe a serious round of, recording. And the last round can be portfolio review with a series of behavioral questions. So let's start with the recruiter call first. The first impression really matters. So I will ask ChatGPT to customize my self-introduction based on the job description, the company mission, the company cultures that I could find online, and with my resume, providing me 3 different lengths of self-introduction, depending on how long the recruiter call will be. 1 minute, 3 minute, or 5 minutes self-introduction will be very helpful if your recruiter call is 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 45 minutes. And in that way, usually I will pass the first round and I raise my chance to see the hiring manager or the hiring team. For the second round, I asked ChatGPT to generate a list of potential interview questions and answers. I will ask ChatGPT based on this hiring manager, the background that I found on LinkedIn, or the company culture mission again, to see what kind of top 10 questions they will ask in this hiring manager round. And then not only the question, give me the answers to the questions based on my resume. Then I can polish it with ChatGPT as well until I'm more comfortable talking to the hiring team. After I pass that round, either I will receive the take-home assignment or they will ask me to prepare an on-site assignment. And in that situation, gladly after pandemic, everything is virtual. Even on-site assignment is virtual. Use ChatGPT as your brainstorming partner will help you a lot and cover the part that you haven't thought of. You are also able to polish your deliverables with the task, and then use ChatGPT to finalize your answers. It doesn't mean that you should use ChatGPT to finish all the tasks and the questions, but it's definitely your best partner to help you understand the task and also give you some details that you didn't cover or originally thought about. After you pass that, you will go to the final portfolio review, at least for user researcher, that's how it works. And in the portfolio review, because ChatGPT will not know what you have done, so the first thing I will do is to put in the detailed script about my portfolio, what I have done in the past, and then ask ChatGPT, again, based on the job description, and also the possible audience that I will face in this final round, to customize my portfolio and tell me what to say and not say in the final round. Also, I will ask ChatGPT to help me generate, again, top 10 questions, thinking of ChatGPT itself as a PM, design, engineers, or other researchers. And in that way, I'm very well prepared and be very confident going in the final round. So now you know every steps in your job hunting process, you can use ChatGPT to help either elevate your speed or the quality of your material. I would say there are 2 different tips and tricks that I highly recommend you. And the first thing you probably will say, such a cliche. What do you mean by know yourself well? Because ChatGPT is still AI and it's a large language model. It doesn't really recognize what you're saying. So if you put garbage in, it's really garbage out. If you don't know yourself well, what achievements you had, you cannot get good response. The second thing is try to drive AI crazy for polishing. Don't settle the first response. Challenge ChatGPT to improve your answers. I use prompts like give me an answer score out of 100. What is my score and what areas I can improve? And I will keep asking this question until my score is reaching 100 or the ChatGPT contradicting itself. Then I know it's probably the time I can stop. So honestly speaking, I don't think I will get laid off that fast if there's no ChatGPT or AI. But I do get laid off because of that. Also, however, if there's no ChatGPT, I don't think I can find a job that fast, and I probably will get deported from the US within 2 months. Thank you.
Amy, that is spectacular. Oh my goodness, wealth of information. Wow, I'm just amazed.
Thank you.
We will now move on to feedback section. Let me call upon Rishi to give feedback to Amy Chen. Rishi, we'll start with you.
Well, Amy, great job on, taking everybody on a ride to find your new job. The latest tools you use and the techniques that can make the journey super easy. I think your presentation was very clear, organized, and to the point. I learned a lot, and I'm sure the rest of the audience did too. An interesting fact is I'm working for a company that does automation on the recruiter side. So that'll be a topic for some another day. But it's good to see what our customers are doing or the other side is doing today. So I got a customer interview without interviewing one, so that's good. In terms of constructive feedback, I think it can bring more emotions when you present. For example, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to get laid off, but it happened. So bring more emotions so that the presentation comes alive. What else? Having the resume as a background or whatever your methodology as a background is a great idea. And you try to make it so that it's almost visible. See if you can, make sure there is no overlap between your head and the rest of it. If there is any way you can bring some visualization instead of all text, that would be better. That's all from my side. Thank you. Overall, great
Thank
job.
you so much. Agreed, Rishi. Thank you so much. Sanya. I'll come back to you, Sanya. Elizabeth. Okay, Sanya, go
Thank
ahead.
you. Okay, just a sec. Well, Amy, congratulations on the new job. And I was stunned with your perseverance and determination and your motivation to achieve, to undertake such action to achieve that, to find a job so quickly after so many applications. And so congratulations once again. The presentation was perfect. Structure, information. I would only add that you could add a lot of dramatic vocal variety to make it really exceptional. Like after 450 applications, I landed 3 interviews and luckily 1 job. And thank you so much for sharing the reality of the current job market. And I think it's so good that you should at least share it on LinkedIn as a course or sell the course if it's allowed via Gumroad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Amar?
Yeah, sure. So, Amy, what I liked about your speech is you had one slide, which was your virtual background, which helps you remember what you are saying as prompts, which allows you to kind of not be fumbling with slides, not be looking anywhere other than the monitor in front of you, which is really clever use of the video experience. It allows us to see the prompts that you use and allows you to have really good flow throughout your speech, which helps us watch you as much as your background, which didn't change throughout the entire part of your speech. If I would offer one recommendation is a stronger conclusion. You had such positive energy throughout, but you ended on a negative. I would have a call to action or something that allows the audience to want to know more or be more positive about what you were expressing. Otherwise, I thought it was a fantastic speech. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amar. Elizabeth?
Yeah, that was actually a wonderful presentation. I really enjoyed the flow of the speech, and I want to say that you really did a good job. And congratulations for the new job as well. But I think someone already mentioned I would have preferred that I have a kind of graphical image to captivate more attention to your presentation. Aside from that, it's for me, it's an almost 100% for me.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. We'll now move on to our second speaker. Our second speaker is going to be Rishikesh. Rishikesh is speaking from his strategic relationship pathway. This is level 5 project 2, prepare to speak professionally. Rishikesh's title is The Keys to Keynote Success. The Keys to Keynote Success. The purpose of this project is for Rishikesh to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Rishikesh, the keys to keynote success. The keys to keynote success, Rishikesh.
Well, thank you so much, Abhijit. I'm excited to present the topic that I care a lot about, especially recently, and I'll come to that very soon. So normally when I present my background, it's typical, I went to here at school and then work experience, etc., etc. But for today's presentation, I'll talk about my rendezvous with public speaking. And it all started with my mom when she became president of the Women's Club of JC's Club. She was speaking everywhere and it was inspiring. And I got a chance to do the same very next year when she appointed me as the president of the Kids Club. And initially I was scared, but then as I started doing it, I realized there's not really much to do. You just talk about the organization and what the program is. So it was not so scary after all. And that went on. I got another opportunity in 10th and 12th grade when I was a merit holder. And in India, it's a big deal. The students who get good grades in 10th and 12th, they are almost like a mini celebrity. So the result of that, I got to speak a lot in public. But again, I settled into this comfort zone, thanking everyone and not really speaking anything of interest. I could have used that opportunity for a lot of good things, but I wasted that opportunity. Eventually, I was a fine arts coordinator at Mood Indigo. Again, I didn't really do anything significant. Then after I came to the US, I was co-chair for Trikona, LGBT South Asian organization. Now, one would think I would take this opportunity to practice, but yes, I did practice, but it was again talking about organization and events. At the same time, I was a secretary at PFLAG and I saw the president. Her speeches were awesome. There was always something to learn. But at that time, I didn't really understand why they were good. Anyway, the time went on. During my MBA, I organized a big conference at Berkeley and Stanford together. And I was director of marketing. And I should have grabbed this opportunity to go and speak on the stage, but I didn't. Well, I had to pay the price. My first job after MBA, I was analyst and I was forced to go on stage and present. But again, I chickened out. I pretty much presented my technical stuff. Didn't really take a chance to connect it to the broader audience and stuff like that. Well, time went on and I was at Samsung and I got an opportunity to present in Samsung conference. This is when I consulted my, you know, career coach, and he said, you should read this book about, presenting with a story in mind. And I read the book in 2 days. Now, this is a record for me. Normally, I take 1 month to read a book. And this was fast, super fast. Now, for people who read a lot of books, that may not be a big deal, but for me, it was a big deal. And that paid off. I did a very good job at Samsung. And I thought, oh my God, I made it. This is it. I mean, I was recorded and it was on Samsung's conference, etc. Then I got another opportunity. I became president of my alumni club. And then another IIT, Pan IIT group, I became a board member. So this is giving me plenty of opportunities to speak. A lot of them I waste, but some of them I have definitely used to coordinate the event in a story-like fashion. Now, I was doing much better than what I did before, but still it was not it. Then I got an opportunity to become CMO for Sprouts. I now really wanted to do something good. So I took Win Jiang's masterclass and it was all good. It helped me. And my goal was initially just to do better presentations of my company pitch deck. And I am doing a much better job. However, something was still missing. And this is a journey. I'm kind of learning along the way. Last month, Win Jiang gave a monthly question and answer session, and somebody asked about keynotes. What does it take to give a keynote? And that speech was an eye-opener. And why? $250,000 per keynote. That shook me out of my chair. I was like, wow, you can make that much money? If I only 25 years ago, I had learned something about this, I could be making that now. But I'm not. You see the power of going and reading from other people's experience? Yeah. So what are the keys to get that much money? Why do they get so much money? Well, that 1 hour speech, it speaks of their experience. It brings you so much value. And it's not easy. It's not just one speech they go and deliver. They iterate, they practice a lot, at least 50 iterations. And each iteration they learn and improve. And by the time they come to the speech, they're completely polished, 100% perfect, A++ grade, whatever you want to call it. And that's why they deserve $250,000. And that made me start thinking, how can I get there? Can I? I'm just the beginning of this journey, so time will tell. But this is what Win also said. There are 2 types of keynotes. One is the keynote. These inspirational speakers come and talk about great ideas, and they set the tone of the conference, etc. These are professional speakers. They would get A++ on all the Toastmasters, metrics, etc. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's where a lot of people make money versus the keynotes that I'm used to in technical conferences, TiCon or others. Some industry expert comes and they talk about the latest trends in the industry. Some big VC will come and talk about it. Those are not really professional speakers. And they don't really make that much money either. The conference will pay for their plane ticket, hotel, whatever, but that's about it. So that's the first thing to realize. I didn't know there was this keynote also. Actually, I got a taste of this keynote at a Gartner event when I was at Samsung. There was one lady who was, a champion, Olympic champion, etc. And she was presenting. When I looked at the agenda, I thought, well, this is such a waste of my time. This is not relevant to what I'm working on, etc., etc. But I made it to listen to her speech anyway. And then I came out feeling, oh my God, this is the best speech I ever heard. This was the best speech at the conference. And those are the keynotes that we are talking about, right? So if you look at it as a product, the keynote has to be at least 60 minutes. Now, you may think that this is really long, but if you go and look at Jensen's keynotes in the past couple months, they're all about 1 hour. Some of them are even touching 1 hour. Jensen is an interesting combination of those both styles. And I'm not sure he has enough money, so he may not even ask for this $250,000, but that's a separate matter. What else? These keynotes have to be educational, they have to be inspirational, and importantly, entertaining. Now, some people think that entertainment is not, below them, somehow it's a job of like movie stars, etc. No. If you want to be a world-class entertainer, keynote speaker, you have to have all these elements and a little bit more. The X factor. This is going to be unique for everyone. Jensen, for example, he's very humble. You can tell it when he speaks. He still thinks he's just an ordinary guy. Of course, he has a big car collection, etc. He's not an ordinary person. But yeah, that's his X factor. That's how he relates to a lot of audience, because they think, I am here, I can be there, right? So you have to create that feeling in the audience. Another metric is 1 impact moment per minute. So when you are delivering a keynote, every minute there has to be something new, a surprise, an insight, a laughter, or just a dramatic pause. So anyway, so how do you get to that perfection? As I mentioned before, you have to practice. There is an iterative cycle. You speak, you listen to your speech without the audio, with the audio, without video, with the video, etc. And you learn. Every time you learn, you go back and improve your speak. And you find opportunities at every place you can find. Toastmasters, you can join accelerators and offer to give free lessons. You can approach schools and offer them free educational lessons to the kids, etc. You have to create those opportunities. The important thing is you have to gain insight during each of your iterative cycle and keep improving. And then you will know. How will you know that you made it? When you deliver a keynote, somebody in the audience will come and say, can you speak? And at some point they'll say, we can offer you money. So what is the path forward for me? I'm still exploring the topic I can talk about, and there are various ideas, but we'll get to that. I'm continuing to do this iterative learning on the topic first, and then once I identify the topic, it will be in that speech itself, and then try to identify opportunities every place I can. And Toastmasters is one of the best places to do that. So with that, I will end this presentation. And I'll say one last thing. And the reason why I'm telling you this is I'm 50, and all these years, I had plenty of opportunities. And we all do that. We waste opportunities that, the society is giving. And you just have to look at that, reflect on that, find somebody who's done it before, learn from it fast, and then just go into the iterative learning fast. And I'm confident I'll be a lot better than what I'm today. Hopefully I'll be standing like this guy facing the audience, giving a keynote. And I'm pretty sure if you try that and if you want to do it, you can do it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishi. Thank you for sharing those secrets, how we can be a keynote speaker. Someday I also aspire to be that speaker. Let's see how much work I have to put in, and finding that right topic is also very important. We'll now move on to our round robin feedback. Amar, do you want to start us out?
Sure. So what I liked about this speech overall was that it had a very easy to follow methodology, where I would probably ask the speaker to stretch is kind of like, what are the next steps a person would do to become a keynote speaker? So I've heard everything from setting up their own kind of way of coming up with speech material in terms of having something like Notion or something like that as a way of developing content, or like some ideas of that would have been really powerful because it would have given us next steps to allow us to figure out this process, almost like what would be the logical step for a person to go on this path that you're illuminating. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and I encourage anyone to pursue such an ambitious project.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amar. Sanya.
Hishi, thank you for your presentation. I congratulate you on the structure of your speech and on the really elegant slides and clean. So it was a joy for me to listen and at the same time to absorb the visual information. So I had enough bandwidth, and yeah, it was really a great speech, pleasant to listen. So congratulations on that. And I think it was a great story too, as you shared the learning points you gained from that masterclass, and shared your thoughts and reflections on personal achievement. And I especially like that you finished on personal note and share your thoughts on speaking engagements, and you contemplated on possibilities in big tech. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanya. Nick.
Thank you, Hrisha. I think it was a wonderful speech. You got my attention from the beginning, and I enjoyed how you developed the presentations from the beginning to the end, especially when you tried like dramatic pause and imitate like some like new context, something new in the presentation. It was done very well. I appreciated the progress bar. It was giving me timelines where we are in the presentation. And yeah, I think overall it was excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick. Jamal.
Thank you, Abhijit. Rishi, that was excellent. Secrets to keynote. I dropped all activities just to listen to you. I loved the first line when you said, my mom was a president of a women's club, and then you got the inspiration from there. So inspiring. Thank you so much. I am a Toastmaster. Yes, one day I would like to give a keynote speech. I really liked how you shared that there are platforms available that we can use. And your punchline was create your own opportunity. So I really like that. I would like, if possible, to have a slide that shows these are the steps and here is where I am. So at least I know, okay, you know what? I am in this journey, and at least I know where you are in that journey and how far I need to go. So in that way, if you can create, I just challenge you, if you can create a North Star, like kind of like a slide that shows me a roadmap, at least in that way, I know how far along I've come and how much more to go to reach there. Maybe a research done with any famous keynote speakers that you admire, and if you can share that, that'll be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamal. Dan, would you like to give feedback, Dan?
Hi. I would love to give feedback to our speaker, Toastmaster Rishi, if I'm correct. The presentation was a perfect example on how to be a keynote speaker. If I'm going to give a short recommendation on how we can have this valuable to us, being a public speaker needs to be focused on the audience. So I would suggest if you can shorten the background when you showcase your background, what you do, what you did, so that all the messages will be thrown to the audience, and what are the key messages that needs to be absorbed in every speaker that aspiring to be a keynote speaker. I love the tips and the roadmap. I love that because I'm also preparing a project similar to this. So congratulations. I learned a lot with your presentation. Just that you need to consider shortening the background of yours because being a public speaker needs to be focused on the audience. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. Vamshi?
Thank you, Vijit, for giving the opportunity. Greetings of the day, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. But I enjoyed the speech, like throughout the speech, like you explained the tips and techniques for to become this keynote speaker, and there are a lot of takeaways from your speech. Even I didn't know that, like you explained some scenarios. But yeah, I enjoyed the speech. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh. Rishikesh, the one thing I enjoyed the most was your passion. I think your passion was such that it inspired, encouraged me to pay attention to what you were saying. So keep on doing that. There are 5 secrets of famous speakers. One is passion. So you nailed it beautifully. We'll now move on to our timers report. Or before we move on to our timers report, Elizabeth, do you have any feedback for Rishikesh?
Yeah, for me, it was an amazing speech, most especially the way he started the presentation with the story. I think that's a good one from my end. Yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I feel, Rishi, this can be a nice 30-minute speech. You can go into more details about keynote speaking.
The
Is
truth
that
is, I
correct?
don't have many more details. When, he literally, this was one of the questions and he answered in 5 minutes. So I'm already stretching it. But I'm sure, as one of the, Jamal suggested, I could do more research and bring other elements besides just what Vin said.
Perfect, perfect. We'll now go on to our timers report. Elizabeth, can you share the timers report, please?
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for today's presentation, and to our speakers for the amazing job that you've done. The first speaker, Hemi, spent 10 minutes and 55 seconds, while the second speaker, Rishi, spent less than the allotted time. He spent 12 minutes, 14 seconds instead of 18 minutes. So that is quite amazing.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This brings us to the end of our meeting, but before we end, we will plan for next week. Next week, our speaker is going to be Sanya. Sanya, do you know what topic you're going to speak about next week?
So I was thinking to prepare something about LLMs, and how many minutes do I have? Because I know Toastmaster speeches are short, or should I select any from the later
if
levels?
you want to speak for if you want to speak for 18 minutes, you can do that too. 18 to 22. Okay?
Yeah, I would like 18 to 22, please.
Perfect. Nick, can you be our first speaker?
Me?
Yes. You have any topics?
I don't have.
Think of.
Like 5-7 minutes. Yeah, why not? Okay.
Yes, 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Nick. And Rishikesh, would you like to be the Toastmaster next week? And I'll explain you how we do it.
Yes, we can do that.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Before we end, Amar, how was your experience, Amar?
It was good. I didn't know what to expect, but it was really well done. I'm actually curious about, have you ever done a presentation on LAMs, language action models? Because that's the next evolution of LLMs. And so I was just curious if you guys have explored that at all. Thanks.
No, we haven't not. Do you have some material on that?
It doesn't really exist yet. There are like agent, like ChatGPT programs that show you the steps, but like the next evolution of LLMs is going to be called LAMs. And so that's really these assistants that actually do the job. So it's like you would go to an app and say, Uber, book me something for like 6 people. And then Uber would have to the app would have to figure out that you couldn't put it in like 2 separate cars or 1 big car, and then it would figure out the cost and everything else. So it would figure out the steps to actually do something that ChatGPT can't do yet, but the next evolution could probably do.
Wonderful, Amar. I'm going to explore that. Dan, how was your experience, Dan?
Wow, the experience was wonderful. It was an insightful meeting, and I learned a lot, especially for the speakers. And this is my first time joining your meeting, and it just so happened that it is a holiday here in the Philippines, so I managed to join in because normally we have office today. So, but I learned a lot. I enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.